Have you ever needed help at work, but stayed silent because you didn't know how to ask in English? Maybe you felt like you would sound incompetent or just didn't have the right words. Today, that changes.
Welcome to LES, the English show built for immigrants. I'm Mr. Jones.
And I'm Leslie. This channel exists to give immigrants the real English that textbooks never teach. Subscribe so you never miss a lesson.
Okay, let's dive into our first situation, asking your manager for help.
First, let's look at a common mistake many people make. Imagine saying this to your boss. Sorry, I don't understand. Can you help me?
Leslie, why is that phrase so problematic?
Well, it's too vague. Your manager doesn't know what you don't understand. It also sounds a bit helpless, which can unfortunately make them lose confidence in your ability to handle the task.
Exactly. It signals a problem without offering any hint of a solution. Now, let's look at some much better, more professional alternatives.
I want to make sure I do this right. Could you clarify the deadline for the Johnson report?
This is great. You're being specific, you're showing you're focused on quality and deadlines.
Here's another one. I've made a start on this. Would you have 5 minutes to check I'm on the right track?
I love this one. It shows you've already put in effort. You're not asking them to do the work for you just to provide guidance. It's proactive.
And a final example, I'm not completely clear on the process for this. Could you point me in the right direction?
Perfect. Again, you're not saying I'm lost, you're saying I need a map. This frames you as resourceful. The key insight here is to always show you've made an effort first and then ask a specific question. This signals competence, not weakness.
That makes so much sense. Now for our second situation, asking a colleague for help. This can be tricky because you don't want to interrupt their work.
Right, and American workplace culture can feel very busy. Let's start with what not to do.
Excuse me, do you know how to do this?
Oof, that's very blunt. It puts the colleague on the spot and can feel like a demand, not a request.
Exactly. You need to provide some context first. Let's try some more natural-sounding options. Hey, do you have a quick second? I'm trying to figure out how the expense system works.
See the difference? Do you have a quick second respects their time. Then you state your problem clearly. It's polite and effective.
Here's my personal favorite. I hate to bother you, but do you know who I should talk to about IT access?
I hate to bother you, but it's a classic for a reason. It's a humble, respectful way to open a conversation. It immediately shows you value their time.
It works almost every time. And one more for when you're new. You've been here longer than me. Any chance you could show me how this works?
This is smart. You're acknowledging their experience, which is a subtle form of compliment. It makes people more willing to help. The key insight is to soften your approach, acknowledge that you're interrupting, and give context before you ask your question. All right, on to our third and final situation, and this one is critical. What to do when you don't understand instructions from your manager.
The biggest mistake you can make is to pretend you understand. For example, yes, I understand.
This is a trap. You might say this because you don't want to look slow, but what happens next?
You do the task incorrectly, and that causes serious problems and damages the trust your manager has in you. It's always better to ask for clarification.
So, let's hear the right way to do it.
Just to confirm, you need me to compile the weekly sales data by end of day Tuesday, right?
This is called a readback. You repeat the task and the deadline in your own words. In American workplaces, this is seen as professional and thorough, not slow.
What if you need more detail? Try this. I want to make sure I've got this. Could you walk me through it one more time?
Again, the framing is key. You're not saying, I didn't listen. You're saying, I want to be precise. It's about taking ownership of the task.
And if you just missed one small detail, you can be direct. Sorry, I missed that last part. Could you repeat the deadline?
It's honest, direct, and efficient. The key insight is that confirming instructions is a sign of a diligent and responsible employee. It prevents mistakes and builds trust.
Okay, Mr. Jones, this brings us to our fourth and possibly most challenging situation: how to disagree with someone at work without sounding rude or aggressive. So, Mr. Jones, let's take a step back. Across all three of these situations, there's a common theme, isn't there?
Absolutely. The underlying principle is shifting from being passive to being proactive. A phrase like, "I don't understand," is passive. It stops the conversation and places the entire burden back on the other person.
Right, but a phrase like, "Could you point me in the right direction?" is proactive. It shows you're engaged in solving the problem. You're still in the driver's seat, just asking for a map.
That's a great analogy. It's also about managing perception. In many cultures, asking questions can be seen as challenging authority, but in the American workplace, asking smart, specific questions is seen as a sign of engagement and intelligence.
It shows you're thinking critically about the task. You're not just a machine following orders, you're a partner in getting the job done right.
Precisely. So for everyone watching, the mental shift you need to make is this: asking for help is not admitting failure. It's a strategy for ensuring success. And using these phrases helps you do it in a way that builds your professional reputation.
These proactive strategies aren't just for spoken conversations, they are incredibly powerful in emails as well.
Let's say you had a meeting and need to clarify something. You could write, "I wanted to follow up on our conversation. Could you clarify the budget for the Q3 marketing campaign?"
Or if you want to provide a status update while asking for guidance, you could say, "I'm working on the client presentation and wanted to make sure I'm heading in the right direction."
Would you be available for a quick 5-minute call to walk me through this? This shows respect for their time by defining how short the call will be.
And finally, a great phrase to use anytime, especially when you're new to a role, is, "I appreciate your patience as I get up to speed. Thank you for your help." It shows gratitude and self-awareness.
Okay, time to put it all together in a full practice dialogue. Imagine you need to approach your manager. You've started the report, but you're not sure about the format.
Ready? Let's begin. Hey, manager's name, do you have a quick second?
Sure, what's up?
I've started the monthly report, but I want to make sure I'm using the right format. Could you point me to an example from last month?
Of course. I'll send you last month's version right now.
That would be really helpful. Thank you so much. Just to confirm, you need this by Friday, right?
Yes, end of day Friday works perfectly.
Perfect. I'll have it to you by then. Thanks for your help. Now let's practice the most important phrases from today's lesson. We'll say the phrase, and you repeat it out loud during the pause.
Ready? Let's go. Could you clarify?
Would you have 5 minutes to...
I hate to bother you, but...
Just to confirm.
I want to make sure I'm on the right track.
I missed that last part. Could you repeat?
That's your lesson for today. Practice these phrases this week.
Subscribe to LES for a new English lesson for immigrants every single week.
And comment below. We read every single reply.
See you next week. Goodbye.